There's Maury there holding a stubby elder. Welcome to 2UP, I'm Notm. Let's get going.
This billabong has got the lot. Gum trees, wallabies, and even a koala. There's plenty to do here, so let's get a move on.
So what would normally be known as an oxbow lake in other countries, in Australia is known as a billabong. And usually those are found in the Northern Territory. So I can sort of guess that most of this game takes place in the Northern Territory as well as Queensland.
Where is it? See that tree over there?
Yeah?
Well, it's not there.
Right. Well, where is it?
It's on top of Frillneck Peak.
Oh, great.
Oh, don't worry. You'll just have to jump, run, brang, and bite your way there while avoiding Boss Cass's henchmen.
So Maury's pretty much spoiling the fact that everything that he just listed there is all of your actions in the game. And as you're about to see here, we're just collecting a lot of gems around. And the more gems you get, you know, it's 100% collective on, as I said in the last episode. So that's all you gotta do. Since I'm playing the GameCube version, I won't go through the controls, but you can look them up online.
Bonza! I got one!
Yeah. 1 down, 71 to go. Come on, let's get a move on.
It would be a lot easier to get a move on if perhaps Maury would stop talking. But there you go, the first Thunder Egg of the game. And as Maury pointed out, 71 to go. These dunnies that Maury are pointing out, which are of course Outback toilets, these are your checkpoints in the game when you die. Dying in this game is a little tricky, to be honest with you, in the first couple of levels, and really you're not going to be facing too much of a challenge until about the 4th level. Really the challenge of the Tasmanian Tiger is not so much going through the levels, as actually making sure that you've collected everything if you want to play 100%. So that's really the stone cold basics of the Tasmanian Tiger. You can bite, you can jump, you throw your double boomerangs, and as we can see later on, Maury is pointing out the fact that these biting muscles are really important. I don't know why I said biting muscles, actually you bite with your teeth and teeth are muscles, but you use X to bite and Y to use the signs, but again these are all basic stuff. So the Tasmanian Tiger is an interesting game, and one of the reasons why I thought it was worth LPing
Down the local watering hole, and he reckons you can use your rams to take care of enemies and smash things.
Ripper!
He said something, now wait a minute, he said something about pressing the throw button to use them.
So in case it wasn't blindingly obvious, these are the first enemies in the game, I should say. These are frillneck lizards, and they are, in fact, found in the Northern Territory. So they actually managed to get some of the accurate locations of the enemies correct. What you just saw in the upper left corner up there was the number of lives we have, which is 5. Coming up here...
Struth! What happened here?
Boss Cass did this. He's caged all your bilby mates and hidden them across the land.
Oh, yeah? Well, big mistake. No one messes with my mates.
Now there's a Thunder Egg in each area if you free them.
No worries. Unless you're Boss Cass.
These are the bilbies in the cages. When you were listening to the conversation between Maury and Ty, you would have heard the coo-wee every 5 seconds or so. That's your audio cue if you're not really sure where they are. Of course, you can control the camera with the C stick and control the zooming by Z as well, which is what Maury is explaining here. As I was saying before, the first enemy, I mean, it's blindingly obvious that you can just throw a boomerang and defeat these enemies, and although the bilby and the frillneck lizards are common Australian animals, the fact that the bilby is found in every single level, and as we're going around what I presume to be different geographical locations of Australia, I don't know how accurate it is. As you can see here, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger is not very good at swimming, and we've just collected a golden gear, which is another collectible, which you'll see what that does later on. He will learn how to swim in a later level, spoilers, but the little dog paddle he does is kind of funny, so I like watching that.
I don't know if it's true, but I heard about this bloke who found 300 opals, then took them to Julius's opal machine. Anyway, something weird happened, and he ended up with a thunder egg.
Righto.
So yeah, the game's really making it apparent to you to collect everything, which again is really obvious. So I don't really know how these kangaroos are sleeping with their eyes open, and yes, they are kangaroos. They really don't look a lot like them, which is a bit disappointing in this game because a lot of the animals actually do look what they're supposed to look like. Kangaroos are not that accurate, unfortunately. What you're going to see here is a chain of floating things. What I mean to say is that consecutive bites can get you to a higher platform when those such things appear. The kangaroos and the frill-neck lizards are the two main enemies that you're going to be seeing throughout this level. Frill-neck lizards usually take about 1 or 2 hits, but the kangaroos always take about 2 hits or so. Right now we've got invincibility mode, and I think that just means we move faster and we just don't get hit as well. Pretty useful, not really seen that much in the game as well. You want to go around and kill as many enemies as possible. Sometimes they can drop opals, and this is your second bilby. There are 7 in every level, and as Maury pointed out, 300 opals, and you can get a thunder egg. So yeah, a lot of similarities I'm going to be drawing through Banjo-Kazooie in this one, which is a little bit funny because reading the Wikipedia entry of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, one of the official reviews of this game compared it to Mario 64. Now already I have a bit of a problem with this comparison because in the first place Mario did not have a boomerang. The platforming, I can see why, the second gold thing we got there, I can see why they draw that comparison, but when you look at Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and especially all the dialogue and the humour that this game has as we collect our third bilby, does this game really remind you of Mario 64 in any way?
Yes. This just might do.
G'day, Julius.
Oh, hello, Ty. You know this golden cog just might be perfect for my latest invention. The Cogulacious Boomerangulus Extrapolator.
Right, what's that?
Why, it's a machine that creates experimental techno-rangs. I need golden cogs to build a new one, 15 to be exact. And if you find enough, bring them to my lab in Rainbow Cliffs and I'll build you a new boomerang.
You're on, mate.
So there you go, the golden cogs as they're called, will help you buy new power-ups for your boomerangs, and as I alluded to in the first episode, they have homing boomerangs and all sorts of stuff that we're going to be finding out about a little later on. Something I didn't point out a little bit earlier is that as we collect these opals, you'll see a little 1 in the corner. And of course, it'll turn into a 2 and a 3 as we get into 200 and 300. And that just keeps track of, you know, how many opals you've collected as well. It's been a while, I can't remember if you actually lose your opals if you die, and they respawn at the checkpoint. I'm not entirely sure. So we're going to try and get over to this platform on the right here. We can just get up to this golden cog, I should say, over here, but to get to those opals, we're going to need to go another way. Perhaps we could get a power-up that could help us jump higher, or something that'll let us glide. Who knows? But what I do know is that there's a giant enemy crab. Yes, these are another enemy that are found in this level. These are a pain to fight, and just not worth it, so just go down and bite them. That's how I usually deal with them. Boomerangs aren't really that effective. So the Northern Territory is where the 2-up game is set, and as I pointed out before, as we get our speed up power up, it's a really interesting sort of scenario to set these games in. You don't really see a lot of settings in Australia. I can't think off the top of my head of a game that at least the majority of the game takes place in Australia. I know for a fact that the Uncharted games I don't think have ever been to Australia, and they've always been going around the world. Let's see, Cruising the World had a level based on Australia, but it wasn't specific in where in Australia it was. So these games generally take place in the outback areas of, Australia, and in particular, as I said, in the Northern Territory. But as we'll see later on, there are other areas as well. So I don't know how many people are actually familiar with the Paddle Pop line, and you might be wondering why I'm bringing him up, because I think the health bar actually kind of looks like it, and it's a little unique as well.
Believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. You actually found the second boomerang. Well, there's no time to sit around and feel all pleased with yourself. You're gonna have to put that new rang to use. You see, I had a thunder egg I was gonna give you, but a bunch of frills stole it. You'll have to take them all on to get it back.
So here we go, we have our second boomerang. And now we have the ability to glide, and we have the ability to hit multiple targets as well. You can throw them 2 at a time, 1 at a time, however you wish. But as you can see there, they give you the power to at least stay in the air just a little bit longer. It's not that long. I'm pretty sure it increases as well. There's a crocodile in the water, as you can see. You can just hit him for fun, which I'm going to do. There you go, he's dead. So the frills, as they are called in this game, have stolen the thunder egg, which Mario was going to give us. It really does raise the question as we dog paddle over here, why we didn't just do that before. I'd like to point out too that the one-up in this game, effectively, is Ty's head. Now at the start of the game, in the introduction, we saw that the Tasmanian Tigers that were protecting those runes that Boss Cass was going after all got sucked into the portal, and we're still not really sure what happened to them. So I like to think that Ty the Tasmanian Tiger is just collecting the decapitated heads of his elders, and in that introduction as well we saw the Bunyip Elder. Now he becomes an important character later on in the game, and I'm not going to spoil why.
It looks like today wasn't a complete waste of time. You seem to have learned a thing or two.
Oh, yeah, you're too right.
There's one other thing I could show you, but I don't know if you're ready for it yet.
Yeah? Well, what's that?
Well, a mate of mine who knows a mate who knows a mate who knows another mate says you can use 2 boomerangs to glide long distances.
How?
It's simple, really. You jump, then press and hold jump again to start gliding.
So there you go, you know how to press A and then A again to glide. And of course there's a lot of Australianisms in the dialogue, like too right, safe as houses, that sort of thing. You get a lot of metaphors in Australian slang, and that's really how I like to think of it in this game. So here we go, we're going to glide over. I failed the first time. You Ripper, we've got ourselves another thunder egg.
Mate was telling the truth after all. Just as well I didn't call for an ambulance. Well, lad, you made it through with flying colours. And as a little extra bonus, a stopwatch will appear near the start.
Okay. What's that for?
The racetrack. You can race the clock to win another thunder egg.
Right. Foggy better go later.
Well, that's enough gas bagging from me. Let's head back to the Bly station.
Well, before we head back to the Bly station, let's collect the what I believe to be the 5th Thunder Egg, and head back to Rainbow Cliffs. And that was 2 up.
I found it. I found it.
Let me see that. At last, a mystic talisman. It's time to move out. We got 4 more talismans to find. You there, fetch my bags. Soon unimaginable power will be mine. Mine.
Well, with Boss Cass, with the 4th talisman, what is in store next time? We will have to find out on Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.